Look, my name's Brian Attard. I'm a proud Gamilaroi man. I was born and bred in Bree with family ties in the Kabi Nation. My role here in seniors' rights is that of a solicitor, but at the same time, I think my primary focus is undertaking outreach services and assisting the aunts and uncles and building stakeholder relationships, both in the metro and also in rural, regional and remote New South Wales. Seniors' rights have been quite successful in doing that. And as a result, our name has been quite used quite substantively, particularly when it comes to referrals. Last year we attended the Far West project, and we still get referrals to this day. Even today, for example, when we do pro bono, which is once a weekly. In my day-to-day role, apart from undertaking outreach, I also take assistance and carriage of different matters, ranging from guardianship matters, credit and debt, as well as any retirement villages and or strata. But also at the moment, the big ticket issue items are reparation payments, both for the stolen generation and also the historical abuse. Being on various boards and committees does help to give the community a bit of a voice, so I can take that up and hopefully that the boards and the committees can draft letters for policy and changes and reform. And I think the first one has to become in relation to the reparations, where it is my understanding that there will be an extension of time by an extra further year. Look, no 2 days are the same when you're working within our organisation. You may try and plan the day, but that doesn't really happen according to it. Having Oliver has been an amazing experience. I'm honoured and privileged to be part of his journey. And I think the best thing that's happened here with Oliver is that he's validated, what he really wants to do, and that is, to get into the legal profession and to help the community. And I stand back and I look at it and I say that our community is going to be in really good hands. In so saying, at the moment, Oliver, despite being in his 5th week with seniors' rights, it is 5 weeks, isn't it? Yeah, 5 weeks. 5 weeks, nearly 6 weeks next week. Look, he's done a very varied amount of tasks, from providing just ad hoc advices, seeking instructions, attending outreach services, participating in stakeholder meetings, as well as attending the pro bono sessions. The thing I love about it with Oliver is that he's built an enormous rapport within the community. And so I think the community are aware of his presence, and I think that has been an absolute benefit to him. I recall what one aunt said to me, and she said that she feels safe when she actually spoke with Oliver. And I said, because I asked her, how things were going, and she said that she felt safe with him, and that she felt that there was that rapport and that trust, which is really imperative if at any stage you are going to continue on and building that relationship with the client. Personally, I hate calling them clients. I prefer calling them as family. And that's pretty evident to these days, where I've assisted clients, say 4 or 5 or even 6 years ago, and they'll whistle out and say, "Hi Brian, how are you?" I think the greatest aspect of this particular work, and I think perhaps Oliver may agree here, and please feel free, Oliver, to step in, is I think the classic one was on last Monday when we attended an outreach in Waterloo, where an elderly person came in, furiously sweating, was somewhat nervous to talk to the solicitors, but at the end, after about an hour of having a yarn, you can tell he was very calm, very composed, and he was very relaxed. And one thing I noticed is that he wasn't sweating at all. It had nothing to do with the weather. I think he was just so nervous because, as he said, there had been so many, promises that had been made to him, but unfortunately, none have delivered. And I think that comes down again to our understanding and the way we actually undertake our interviews, and that is that we don't take our pens, we don't take our paper, we don't take our notebooks. We maintain eye contact at all material times. We don't intervene in any way whatsoever. We don't belittle. And all we do is basically listen to the client. And generally what we find is that one legal problem ends up being two ends up being four. And in this particular client, Oliver, correct me if I'm wrong, what was originally one legal issue ended up now is about five. And that's not out of the ordinary. Speaking of outreach, I just want to say also thank you to the other stakeholders who have supported seniors' rights as well, and who have accepted myself, but also Oliver and also my other colleague Jen. But I think overall it has been a wonderful experience. And I mean, I learn on a daily basis having Oliver here with myself and vice versa, and we all learn from each other. We all have a yarn on a weekly basis. And I think the thing that I really enjoy doing is using the whiteboard, making sure, of course, it is a whiteboard marker, not a permanent marker, and basically deconstruct a case study and something, instead of having to read 140 or even 200 pages of a file, it can be done on half of a whiteboard, and noticing the relevant legislation and so forth. So, and that's when I see Oliver basically taking the initiative and putting his hand up and saying, yep, this is what I know and this is what I don't know. But to date, I have to say I'm extremely impressed, and as a proud First Nations man, and also as a First Nations solicitor, I can sit back and know that our community is in good hands. I mean, this cadetship program has to maintain and has to keep going, and if anything, maybe go on to the next step and have, whether or not it's be a scholarship or a graduate program within CLC New South Wales. And that's that.
Hi, my name's Oliver John Williams. I'm a Wiradjuri man from Cowra. I study a Bachelor of Criminology and Criminal Justice and Law, UNSW. Look, Brian's a very good man, I think, and he's been a very good mentor, not just at work, but I feel like in my life in general as well. And I feel very very nurtured as well. We've been going to outreach clinics, which has been one part of my favorite. Like some of my favorite stuff in the program, and just building that rapport with the community is really good. More recently, we've taken on Waterloo outreach with the housing down there, and yeah, it's really, I'm really keen to sort of see how that develops and be a part of that growth and rapport with the community, and sort of extending the scope of where we can help. And I know Brian's made some more connections out at Maroubra and Randwick. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to being a part of that and getting access to those who need it more and wouldn't really have access to it previously. And why did I want to join the Community Legal Centre? I guess I answered that, just to sort of build a rapport with the community, learn how people that are outside of my circumstances in life and how are very sort of dissimilar to me and my circumstances kind of help them through their journey and learn more about other people, which in turn grows my awareness and sense of self as well, and my space in the community. And I feel like that's very, very valuable, especially going into the future, it's really good to have that sort of rapport and stuff, you know. But yeah.